So welcome to KIN 250 Weight Training Online, 100% online. So I'm your host for this semester, and this is going to be summer. Traditionally, when I teach this course, and so what I want to do is kind of go through the course. I want to go through the requirements. We'll look at a few different things in and out of the course. We'll also look at the Volt app and how you access it for free. I taught this past semester, and students. One student told me, "I didn't know it was free," and it was written everywhere. It's written everywhere in this class. Um, and I was having trouble with it, so I just ignored it and didn't do it. Is essentially what they were saying. I was having trouble with it, and I noticed other students were too. Mind you, this is an online class. I don't know how anyone's talking to anyone else, because as you most know, there's very little limited interaction between students inside of a Canvas course, unless it's discussion board. So hey, it is what it is. To be honest with you, I get all sorts of interesting reasons and rationales why students missed opportunities, et cetera, especially at the end of the semester. So I'm building this brand new welcome video so that you all can't miss anything. And then I will have a quiz here that says you watch the welcome video and that you understand every aspect of this class. And it's a requirement. So all right, moving forward. So I'm your host. I'm Peter Parcelletti, Professor Peter Parcelletti here in the Department of Kinesiology. So I want you to find your course. So I haven't published it yet, but it's going to look like this. So we've got this 100% online KIN 250. It's going to take you right to the home page. Um, and what in this video will replace this video that I currently have there. So everything will be square. So here's a little bit about me. I always have like somewhere. I used to have it about me. I guess I don't have it in this class. But I've been teaching kinesiology for let's see. I started in 2014 as a part timer. I started full time in 2021. No, 2022, I believe. So I'm going on my uh, I don't know. I've been here a while, but I'm going on my fourth year of teaching as a full time professor, and I've really been kind of, I don't want to say responsible, but part of growing our department. We've done a lot of really cool, unique things here at Los Angeles City College in the Department of Kinesiology, including building new certificate programs. I'm responsible and partially responsible of assisting some other faculty as well of building. We've got a sports medicine certificate. We've got a fitness specialist certificate, which I built. We've got a health and fitness center management certificate program. We've got a new we have a physical therapy aid certificate. We have a gosh, I feel like I'm missing one. We have a local degree, Associate of Science in excuse me, Health and Human Performance. Oh God, I'm not even getting it right. It's brand new though. It's coming out fall 2025, so you'll see it in the catalog. Um, Associate of Science in Applied. No, it's Human Movement and Applied Fitness. There we go. I created it. The idea here is that we're trying to be a destination for kinesiology education in the community college district, at least Los Angeles City College, being that we're centered in the city. You have choices. You have other choices to go to different schools. So I appreciate you coming here. If you're coming here from another school, that's probably pretty cool too, because this course, a weight training class online, I was the first person to do it here in Los Angeles City College, or in Los Angeles Community College District. So I'm really proud of this. One of the things that we did was we incorporated a training app called Volt Athletics, which we pay for every month. And in fact, the bill just came due. It's a couple $1,000s every year that we are providing students and our student athletes with a training platform so that you can actually have an at-home coaching system that will track your workouts, track your performance, and actually demonstrates to me that you're doing something. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's one of the unique things that you're going to get here that you're not going to get in a lot of other schools. All right, so moving forward, let's go through the welcome. It's asynchronous. It's 16 weeks compressed into five. So that means essentially 3 modules per week, with module 5 only having 2. There's going to be a series of videos, many of which I've shot at the Los Angeles or LACC weight room, or I've procured some interesting things online that I think are really helpful. Each module has its own multiple choice um, quiz. You can take it up to 3 times. It's open note. There's no time limit on it. So anyone who needs time extension, everyone automatically has as long as it takes. Um, at the end of the day, you get out of this kind of work what you put into it. So if you're not interested in learning anything, well, you can probably find the answers online. If you're interested in learning, what you're going to find is that this course is really, really comprehensive. I'll talk about that in a minute. You'll have some sort of discussion activity that you're going to partake in, and you're going to have to perform it on your own. No videos. I just want you to do it and then explain clearly to me in the discussion in a way that makes me realize you did it. And I've been doing this a long time, and many students are like, "Oh, he won't know." Yes, I will. You've got to follow all my prompts in there, and that's how I know. And then you need to make sure you respond to another classmate. So a lot of times students forget to kind of post a second post. You lose instant points that way. So please set yourself up for success. Need to adjust this because I didn't do it correctly. So bear with me here. Right here it says automatic deduction. We'll get through that in a second. Automatic deduction of up to after the due date, um, up to 25 percentage points. And it's a five percentage points per day until you hit 25%. Now I leave everything open. So you can turn things in late. It is what it is. I get it. Life happens. I'm currently in a doctorate program. I hope at some point I should be done, hopefully within a year. And I find that there's times when I'm like, you know what? I have to be late on this. There's nothing I can do about it. Now, what I will tell you is being in communication with your instructor before the end of the semester is much better than waiting until after the semester when the course is closed. I can't help you if you've waited until the end of the semester. You are an adult. You are taking this course because of your own free will. You need to be in communication like an adult with, if you're going to be late to work, who do you call? If you're going to be late to some sort of party or something that you've committed to, you usually let people know. Same with our work. Be in communication. It's much easier to manage situations if you're in communication um, uh, before things become, the end of the semester. And this always happens. End of the semester. Oh, I missed a bunch of work. I didn't do as I want to get a better grade. What can I do? Nothing. This is your life. College is the practice for life. So I know some of you are adults. You're already doing this. It's not a big deal. But for those of you in the room who are hearing this, it's like this is your opportunity to practice and yeah, make mistakes, but be in communication with me and I can help you out. I am willing to help people out, but at the end of the semester when things are over and I've got to deliver grades for everyone else, and you're sitting here telling me why you know you had an issue, you know, it's fine. I get it. Life happens. You have two choices. There, just so everyone's aware of this, you can, if you feel like you're not going to make the class happen and get a good grade, the grade that you wanted, you can always do an emergency withdrawal. Any student at any point can do an emergency withdrawal. And that doesn't need any reason. You just go to admissions office and say, I'd like to get an emergency withdrawal. They'll contact me and say, hey, are you okay with it? Even though it's not up to me, I just go, yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine. And then they'll withdraw you with an EW. Now, many of you say, well, I don't want a W or an EW on my transcript. It's going to impact my GPA. Emergency withdrawals do not impact your GPA. That what they do is they basically say, well, you attempted a course but didn't complete a course. So where it can impact you is if you attempt a bunch of courses and only don't complete half of them, you will lose potential. You'll be at academic warning or probation because in financial aid, we'll start saying like you're taking classes but you're not completing them. If you do that again, we're not going to give you any financial aid. So that's really where it impacts you. W's on transcripts don't, you can retake the class and they can get replaced at the community college level. D's F's can get replaced if you retake the class and get a better grade. You have to request all of that. That is the adult part of this, in that you have to actually initiate that through the admissions offices. However, it is, there are ways to work around challenges. So I want to invite you and encourage you to step up to the plate and take responsibility for yourself and say, hey, I'm not doing as well as I wanted to. What can I do before the class is over? Or if you're in a pinch and you really can't make this class happen, I'm teaching it again. Typically, I teach it in the first half of the summer, second half of the summer. So you could take it twice if you're starting in the first half of the summer with me. And so you could retake it. You could then resubmit the grade, get the grade updated. I've had to do that in my doctorate program. I had to withdraw from a class, actually multiple classes. I'm working on my doctorate of kinesiology with an emphasis in strength and conditioning. I'm in school right now. I take 2 classes every semester until I'm done with this thing, which is hopefully going to be fall 2026. But there were times when life got ahead of me and I needed to withdraw. So what do? I take a withdrawal. It's not the end of the world. You got to be careful about probation and financial aid eligibility, because that is part of it, but it doesn't impact your transcript. And then I retook the class and I got a better grade, and essentially it fixes all of that stuff because I got the grade that I needed to get. All right, going out on a limb here. Let's kind of move along. The one last thing I just want to show you is um, go where you are required. Let me turn on my little highlighter here. You are required to use the Volt app. It's free to all LACC students. I'm going to say this like 50 times. And you're required to do 3 weekly workouts in this course, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. In this welcome page, you've got where to start the modules, you've got my information, the length of the course, and it'll look different depending on what semester of mine you're in. So, don't read this one, look at your specific module, welcome module. Here's all my information, here's all my certifications. And I have a lot more than that. So I've been doing this for a long time. I actually have done strength and conditioning. I've worked in corporate wellness. I've worked in fitness center management. I've done it all. So I have a lot of history, and a lot of my lectures are built on my experiences in the gym, trying to make this course a really exciting, fun learning environment to teach you the basics of using a weight room, because that's the reality. Is many of us, if you've never used a weight room, some of you might have, you've probably learned from someone else who learned from someone else. It becomes a telephone game, so information is passed down. My job is to give you the science meets the application so that you're making best educated decisions about exercise choices instead of having to guess. So we're going to explore different aspects of the weight room in our videos. All right. Office hours are going to be here, so that's going to be obviously individual depending on the class of the semester that you're in. Every semester I have to adjust my office hours, so please take a look at that. If you need to meet during my office hours, please email me, inbox me. Either email me to regular email, student email, or inbox me through Canvas. I don't sit with my Zoom room open, so you need to let me know so I can turn it on and make sure I'm there. So you're going to see that. Please email me before you plan on attending any of my office hours, as I don't sit in my Zoom meeting room on or open. All right. So let's move into the syllabus. Some of this is going to be regurgitation. Wrong syllabus. Our regular syllabus, simple syllabus, will be hidden. I like to use my own syllabus. All right, so here we are again. Same information about the course up top. No live meetings. My email, you can email me directly or you can inbox me in Canvas. It goes right to my email and I will respond very quickly. There's my office phone number if you do want to call. I'm not in the office all summer long. If you're taking this during a summer, in the fall or spring, if you're taking this course, I am in my office. But the best part is I'm not always at my desk, because usually I'm instructing. I get an automatic voice recording to my email, so I will respond to you as soon as possible. I typically respond within 24 hours. I don't think I have that here. Let me update this. So let's make sure we have that. I'm just going to write in here my response time, my phone call. Thanks for bearing with me. As I go through this out loud, I realize there's certain things missing and I want to knock it out before I get there. Response time for, I'll just say for email, and phone. It's kind of funny. Phone calls is 24 hours. And then over the weekend, should be is. And then over weekend, I'll get back to you on that Monday as on the next business day. On weekends, I will reply within the next business day, which is usually going to be Monday, but sometimes we have holiday. So that's why we say next business day. We have a vacation day. All right. So there's that. All right. Let's get the spotlight back on. Here we go. Okay. There's the course description. The goal is to help you develop muscular strength and endurance using weight machines and free weights and or body weight, it should say, because many of you are going to be using body weight. They employ proper training techniques necessary to maintain personal fitness throughout the lifespan. So we're going to teach you how to do all that, and you're going to work out at home or in a gym if you're a gym member. It's one unit, 2 hours of lab. I got a little bit more work in here probably than the 2 hours, but it is what it is. It's transferable to both the CSU and the UC system. There's no prerequisites. So the student learning outcomes, you're gonna design an individual strength training program. So at the end of the semester, you're gonna build a little workout plan. You're gonna explain the differences between free weights and cable work. You'll be able to explain that at the end of the semester. You're gonna compare and contrast strength and endurance training with power training. We'll get into that a little bit. The student will define and explain the 5 components of physical fitness. We'll talk about that as well. All right, so found another typo making me bananas. Let's see. This is where okay. So our grade scale, for those of you that are new to the community college system, we only do whole letter grades, no pluses or minus. So 90 or greater is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, etc. Pass is an equivalent to a C if you're taking this for pass or non-pass. But I think everyone's taking it. That's rare. I don't really have a pass or non-pass. So ignore that for now. Oh, I have it twice. That's why. Let me delete that later. All right, drop and repeat. So you can, this is where essentially you can attempt 3 times to pass a class in the district. If you get a WDF NP, like a withdrawal, a D grade, an F grade, or an NP non-pass as a grade in class, that counts as an attempt. If you think you'll not be able to complete this course with a C or better, please drop by the due date. So ultimately, it's up to you. Drop the class. You could always retake it. Now, attendance policy is a little unique here. So right out of the gate, you're going to have a couple of assignments that are due on Wednesday. And I want to make sure if you're in a summer class, it's Wednesday. If you're in a regular semester class, fall or spring, it's going to be the first Sunday. You have to get your assignments in. If you don't, I then go ahead and drop you. And that becomes a, did it pack back up? Nope. That becomes, because it's an online class, I'm not taking attendance. I need to see actual activity in the class. Looking at the pages doesn't count. You actually have to do an activity for me to keep you in the class. If you don't do any activities, I'm dropping you. Financial aid information is right here. Any student that needs accommodations, please reach out to our OSS office. Don't directly go to me. You can certainly talk with me, although the OSS form says you're supposed to communicate with me about your accommodation, but students never do. OSS is the one that initiates and approves the accommodations, and then they communicate that directly to me, and I accept or I deny that depending on what the accommodation is. I generally do not deny accommodations, so most of you will be fine. Here's our library information. You won't need it in this course, but if you do want to borrow anything from or read anything online, you can do that. Now, student code of conduct. That means plagiarism, cheating on exams, working together on assignments where it said you're not supposed to, paper or projects, submitting the same paper more than one to more than one instructor, or allowing another individual to assume one's identity for the purposes of enhancing one's grade. Penalties will include a 0 or an F on the submission, and potentially can be suspension. So if this continues to happen for you, I will report the violations to the dean. The dean will then go to admissions. It's just general processes in college where academic integrity is really, really important. I get it now. Here we're going to talk about AI. Some of you are going to use AI in the discussions. I have it set up so that if you do use AI, I have an AI tool that's looking at that. So if it pops up as AI, you automatically get a 0. I mean, the whole point of going to school is to learn something. Machine learning is not what we want to be doing at this point in our academic careers. Later on, when you actually have the information, it might be more useful, especially in a work environment, to do some of the menial stuff. But my expectation is we're trying to sharpen your own brain. Using someone else, essentially, which is what you're doing, to do that for you is not sharpening your brain, it's making you dumber. And so my job is to hold you accountable to learning the material. And I take this work very seriously. I'm very passionate about exercise science, human performance, human movement, and especially the weight room. I love the weight room. So I'm very passionate about this, and it bothers me when students are taking a class and they decide, well, I'm not really into it. So instead of actually dropping the class and maybe taking another activity class, I'm going to just cheat or I'm going to use AI. That I have a fundamental problem with that. That's not where I'm coming from. And my goal is to try and create an inviting, educational, explorative environment where you can learn a lot of stuff. That's not like you have to memorize formulas and all this sort of boring stuff. Most of you are taking this course because you're interested in weight training, and I'm going to teach you the ins and outs, even online, of how to successfully develop a weight training program and the whys around it, why we do this versus that. And I'm going to debunk a lot of the misinformation that many of you think you know. And I would invite many of you also to just forget what you know currently about weight training and let's refill your brain up with the real information. All right. So discrimination, if at any point you're feeling like there's any discrimination or anything that's going on, you have these resources here. Um, so the course structure is in the summer in particular, it's going to be 3 modules every 5 weeks, with the last module being 2 in a spring or fall. And this would also include winter. Summer and winter are the same, it's 5 weeks. For fall or spring, it will be, you're going to have a module every week. So you're going to have anywhere from 15 to 16 modules depending on the semester. You are expected to do in a 5-week course 3 workouts per week. 3 times 5 is 15 workouts. It's not a ton, but I got to do more because our time is short. For those of you in my semester courses, fall and spring, my expectation is that you're going to be doing 2 workouts per week, and that also includes an 8-week course. 2 workouts per week because you're getting the 15 there. In a full, for an 8-week course, really 16. If you're doing 2 workouts per week, in a 15 to 16-week course, you're obviously doing 32, anywhere from 30 to 32. The reason why we do 2 is the bare minimum to see physiological change. Now, 3 is going to make you get changes more quickly. So those of you in the 5-week version of this course, you're going to start out a little bit more quickly, but there's going to probably be some significant residual soreness if you haven't trained all that much. So that's part of what we have to get through. All right, here are the sort of the grading points. It's essentially almost 1,000 points, or about 1,000 points, and you can see the breakdown there. All your assignments must be submitted through Canvas. I will not accept anything submitted to me through email. If you miss the deadline on something, don't email it to me. I'm not accepting it. You've missed it. There's nothing I can do about that. If you send me stuff, if you wait to the last minute, that's a you issue. You're going to create the stress and the environment in which you're prone to making mistakes or taking too long and missing the deadline. Let me just email them. Don't email me. I'm not taking it. I'll just respond back. Thanks. I don't accept this. So that's just something I want you to be aware of. I get it. In my doctorate program, I often will submit things a little bit late, or I'm trying to cram that work in. So I understand it. I get it. I was always a procrastinator. And to some extent, I still have aspects of that now, even as an adult. It's just something that you as an individual procrastinator are going to have to work on and get better at. It will not get better on its own unless you're actively trying. So use this class, leave yourself time to submit your homework. and assignments. All right. Now, discussions. This is also something that comes up every semester. You're going to respond to all of my discussion prompts. Does that make sense? All of them. I actually literally will ask you things. You should copy and paste those things into your discussion and respond to them. Um, so I need to, the reason why there's all of these prompts is because I need to know, based on what I'm asking you to do, that you're actually doing it. And I know when people aren't, because it becomes very vague. So if you can't answer my questions, that means you're not doing it. And I'm just going to give you the 0 for the discussion. Sure. And I'm expecting college level work. So, be robust with your use of words. Also, pay attention to capitalization and punctuation. You're communicating through your written words. So take advantage of that. Um, Typically, short, partial answers to initial response, you're not going to earn the points, even if you respond to another peer, which leads me into the second part. Don't forget to repost or respond to a peer. You get 5 points for the initial, 5 points for the response. If your initial response is no good, then you're getting 0 altogether. I read all of your initial posts and I will respond in the comment section on some of them. Not all of them. Some of them will be great. Some of them I don't need to respond, but sometimes you might have some clarity issues that I might need to actually clarify. So that's where I'm going to respond. We talked about the late work policy. It's here again. 2.5 point, a 5% deduction per day late, with the max deduction being 25% off. So let's use 100 points as the example. Every day, that would be 5 points off until you get to 75 points. And if you turn it in at any point after that, the best you can do is a 75%, assuming you are perfect and don't make any errors. All right, Volt workout assignments. You must submit 3 Volt if you're in my summer and winter courses, and 2 Volt if you're in my spring or summer classes every week. I do not accept late Volt workouts. There's a reason for that, meaning you've got a certain number that you've got to get every week. Once the week is up, you cannot submit anything late. Why? Because you're not doing the work. And I don't want you to cram 4 workouts into 1 week to try and make up for something, because especially if you're new to this, that's going to set you up for injury. The whole point of taking a class is to be consistent with your training. So I'm not giving credit if you do another workout throughout another week to try and make up for that. You have got to just kind of figure it out. What I say about that, look, doing something is better than nothing. So if you're struggling, you're not motivated, if you thought taking this class would help you work out and you're not feeling inspired, you got to do some soul searching. Okay? Everyone needs to exercise until they're dead. That's the reality of the benefit of exercise. And unfortunately, we live in a society where exercise isn't all that prioritized. It is the greatest tool, free tool to prevent long-term chronic diseases. But we look at the population, about 20 to 25% of the population is actually getting the minimum requirements of exercise, which is 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week. That could be broken down into bouts of 20 minutes. That's when you do 150 minutes per week of moderate physical activity, we see a massive decline in healthcare costs, in chronic illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, all that stuff that sets people up for disease and shorter life. So if you're struggling, you're coming to me saying, hey, I took this class because I was hoping to get a little motivation. 2 things might be going on. One, you might need to kind of show up face to face in a class. So that's a conversation you need to have with yourself. You need someone to hold you accountable. As a personal trainer, 90% of my clients were me holding them accountable. They put money in the kitty, and basically, if they didn't show up, I kept the money. And I'm holding them accountable with a financial penalty, essentially. Now, it wasn't that like, oh, you took my money. They also wanted my expertise, but part of it was, I'm going to just commit to this with some money. Now, $46 for a 1-unit class isn't a ton of money, right? For some of you, that might be. I wish there was a better way to do this. I wish I could give you a refund at the end of this if you did all of your required workouts. That'd be a great incentive. And I've actually seen that work in programs that I've developed over the years in my corporate wellness job. But we can't do that here. So if you're struggling, I'm going to tell you, do something. Just get started. Do a warm up in Volt. Try that and then see how you're feeling. Usually, if you just do a little bit of movement, even if you don't want to, you'll feel better. And then you'll actually say, you know what, this isn't so bad. Let me keep going. It's putting the pieces together consistently that allows you to make it more habitual, because we're going to have some people in this class that are like, I love working out. I hate missing a workout. I was just taking this class because I love weights and I needed the unit for my degree. And those are the people that were like, cool, I'm doing this regardless. I'm going to get some credit for it. So they got there because they committed to it at one point. In the beginning, it's always hard. So take advantage of me as a resource. If you're struggling, email me. If you have some other thing that you want to focus on, email me. You are all required to use Volt unless I pre-approve something else. The only way I'm going to pre-approve something else is if you email me. I will not, don't wait till the end of the center. Oh, I did this whole other dance thing, or I was doing this other thing with another group. Not approved. You took a weight training class. You are expected to do some sort of resistance training, which could be body weight, stuff at home, or could be in a gym if you have a gym membership. The Volt plan will work for you regardless. Now, I don't accept late workouts, right? So we know that at the end of the week, it's going to turn off. You can't turn any more in. The other thing that I need you to do is you need to do workouts on different days. I do not accept same day workouts. So if you do two workouts on a Sunday because you missed all week, I'm going to mark that as only one workout. The reason for that is if you're not working out 2 times per week at a bare minimum, and in our class for the 5 week class, it's 3 times a week. In the 16 to 15 week classes, it's 2 times a week. You're not going to get results. So physiologically, we know you have to have enough stimulation in the week in order to get results. Now, some of you are going to have either a 4 or 5 day program, depending on your experience and what your goals are. I only need for the 5 week class 3. You can turn in all 4 if you want, but I'm only going to grade you for the 3. And then the rest of you, I'm going to grade you on the 3 or the 2 in the 16, the regular spring and fall semester courses. Let me see if I got everything here. So plan accordingly. Set your week up. Okay, your Volt workout shouldn't take anywhere longer than an hour at most. Many of them will take 35, 40 minutes, especially in the beginning. Leave time to do the workouts. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Leave that day in between. The reason why the day in between is important is you're doing full body workouts. If you do full body or same muscle parts back to back to back in consecutive days, you will actually start to prevent your body from recovering. So that off day becomes a wonderful recovery day. Sleep and recovery are the most important things that you can do. So getting your 8 hours of sleep, nutrition is obviously important as well, but I'm generally going to assume that everyone's eating something, but generally sleep. Get your 8 hours. Make sure you have an off day, one day in between. If you're older like me, you might need to have 2 days off in between, especially in the beginning. So maybe the first 2 workouts you take a little bit of a spacer because sometimes we're a little sore on that second day. The third day we feel better. All right. So if you have questions, I've got a question discussion board. So you're going to see here in our discussions. I'll actually open this up so you can see that. Actually, I don't have that anymore. I got rid of it. So I got rid of that for a reason because it was hard for me to monitor. So let me make that adjustment. So if you have questions specific to what's going on in the course, I want you to email me. So I'm going to pull that out. Have questions. Okay. I'm just going to say have questions. Use your Canvas email. Communicate to me directly. I'll do my best to respond within 24 to 48 hours. Okay. And that's really should be 24 to 48. I do my best. Sometimes I miss things. If for some reason I didn't respond to you, I go ahead and where did it go? My response time, 24 to 48. If for some reason I didn't respond to you within that time frame, that means I missed it. And I do get a lot of emails. So please go ahead and just email me again. It's not a big deal. You're not bothering. No one is bothering me. So just email me again. All right. So what I want to go to now is you're going to see in assignments here, all of the assignments. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Volt and how to set that up in the first module. So I've got all the module. I will be looking at your Volt workouts. I will be looking and make sure you have an account manually. The reason for that is, believe it or not, we keep getting some fake students, and it's kind of fun in a way, but it's also kind of a pain because they're not. This last semester they did a lot of the work, which was actually surprising, but they're still not doing things. So I have to create ways to prevent them from trying to cheat the system. So it is what it is. Here's all our discussions, and then here's all our quizzes and surveys, including our final exam, which is that 100-point test, which is a compilation of all the exam quizzes. Note on the final exam that it's 100 questions. I believe it's 100 questions. Should look at that. Hell yeah. Yeah, 100 points. 50 questions, 2 points each. And you get 3 attempts at that as well. So don't stress too much. Check your announcements. I don't have anything. I'll have an announcement posted saying welcoming you all. But this is where I'm going to communicate to all of you in the classes. So make sure you check that.